Hi, I'm Jill. Welcome to my final project presentation for Info 244. For my final project, I created a screencast tutorial of the Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints database. Today, I will discuss my reasons for creating a screencast tutorial, my target audience, my learning objectives, and my testing and implementation plan. First, I'd like to talk about why I decided on this topic in a tutorial for my final project. This project was a continuation of sorts of a project I started in Info 254. In that course, I created an introductory screencast tutorial explaining the basics of the Opposing Viewpoints database. The introductory tutorial was a high-level overview that focused on the basic features and equitable use content available through the Opposing Viewpoints database. There is a lot of information to cover when explaining how to use a database, and I realized that this final project was the perfect opportunity to expand on my first tutorial. With this follow-up tutorial, I was able to go into more depth on how to use the advanced search feature and combine search terms to better focus your results. I also introduced the concept of Boolean operators and touched on how they can significantly increase or decrease your search results. And I demonstrated how your search history will show you how many results you receive and the difference combining searches and introducing Boolean operators can make on your results. One of the biggest challenges was to keep each tutorial under 5 minutes. This was important to me since my target audience is the adult community of Chandler, Arizona, and adults are busy. It was also important to let the audience know from the outset of the video what they would be learning so they could judge if it were relevant to their information needs. I chose a screencast format as adult learners are getting more accustomed to being able to access information in a variety of modes. Developing a screencast is just one more way to make a learning tool available to the user. Learners can satisfy a number of information needs while exploring and using the Opposing Viewpoints database. Contextualization means that library skills are considered information skills that are taught within the framework of an overall process model for information seeking. I developed the screencast as a starting point for the adult user with questions on how to use the Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints database. The main learning objectives of this tutorial are to help the adult learner understand how to use the advanced search feature, Boolean operators, and the search history. The learner may engage in using the tutorial and database for a number of reasons, including displaying curiosity and formulating questions about a personal interest, engaging with new knowledge by following a process that includes devising and implementing a plan to fill knowledge gaps, participating in an ongoing inquiry-based process by continually seeking knowledge, acting on an information need by determining the need to gather information, engaging with the learning community by expressing curiosity about a topic of personal interest, and more. As for my testing and implementation plan, this is purely hypothetical at this point. However, if I were to assume that I developed this tutorial while working at a public library, I believe these would be the steps I would take for testing and implementing my tutorial. My first step would be to have the screencast peer-reviewed by a trusted coworker or two. I've learned that feedback from my peers has proven invaluable. They often see things that I don't and provide valuable insight that I have missed. After receiving and incorporating the peer review feedback, it would be time to see what a sample of the target audience thought of it. Again, feedback from a different non-library user point of view would be welcome. At this point, I would make another round of revisions if necessary. Hopefully, if the revisions weren't too extensive, it would be time to roll the tutorial out to the website. Under the description of the Gale in Context Opposing Viewpoints database, we could include a link for View Our Tutorial. I really enjoyed creating these tutorials and would like to keep practicing and improving on what I've learned. I hope someday I have the opportunity to put this knowledge to use. Thank you for joining me today.